second.
Here we go. Oh,
Go,
we are
go,
live.
go, go.
We're live.
Oh,
Oh, God. Way to go. I don't know. Maybe you can add it while we are live. Hey, everyone. So, happy episode 8 of Wake Up Women Leaders. So, here's the thing. You are in the middle of doing something difficult, right? Be kind to yourself. The plan may have hit a wall, the timeline has shifted, the thing you counted on maybe didn't come through, and you're standing in front of an obstacle that does not care how prepared you were or how much you needed this to work. What you do next is what defines you as a leader. The obstacle is not your opposition. The obstacle is actually the way forward. It is not blocking you from moving forward. It's kind of like the drawbridge that Source has let down to say, here we go. If you want to come up, this is the way if you embrace it. And Nettie and I have got some stories to tell about it, especially with this being based out of Stoic philosophy, right, Nettie?
Yes, I feel like we just jumped onto this, and in true fashion, it was like, let me give you an obstacle to start this to start this conversation with. And so yes, you can add streams to the StreamYard while it's live, which is amazing.
Yay!
Welcome, everyone. So glad to be here. We're going to be talking about the source of this idea of the obstacle being in the way. It is based in Stoicism. It comes from a quote by Marcus Aurelius, ancient guy, and he was actually a Roman emperor, not just any guy, like big deal. Right. And he said, what stands in the way becomes the way. And that is how we come up with this quote of the obstacle is the way, which was made popular by Ryan Holiday. He has a book by the same name. Great author to follow. He is not an ancient Roman emperor. He is actually a living, breathing guy that you can follow on Instagram, YouTube, etc. He has multiple books. Highly recommend. But what we really want to get into today about this Stoic philosophy is how you can apply it in your leadership, in your business, and even just really digging into this particular concept of obstacles. And I want you to dispel the idea that Stoicism means emotionless, because that's not it at all. And I don't think we'd be here talking to you about it if that's what it meant. And also, it's a philosophy. It's not a religion. So you can embrace the idea of Stoic philosophy without giving up your faith. In fact, you'll find a lot of parallels in Stoic philosophy to many, many religious tenets and walks of faith. So don't feel like you need to change your belief system in order to embrace this. These are really just great ideas on how to live a good life. Things like understanding that you are not the emotions that you feel, that you can pause before reacting. These are some ideas out of Stoic philosophy. That the goal, the summum bonum, like the ultimate good, is to live a good, virtuous life full of wisdom, courage, justice, temperance, and that is how you can become the best person that you're meant to be. So with that as our basis, I should probably say a little bit about who we are. So I'm just going to jump in with that. I'm Nettie Owens, and I work with women leaders. Specifically, I'm an executive coach, and I've trained for many years. I'm actually also a heroic performance coach. So check that out, heroic.us, and you can understand some of my background and why this topic is particularly important to me, as well as a professional organizer. So I bring all of these things together to help you look at how can you live a great life, run a company that works well for you, and do it in a way that is your unique system of success. So that's a little bit about me. I founded the Sapari Group. You can see more if you check out saparigroup.com. Over to you, Victoria.
Thank you. I feel like the weather lady. It is hot. It is 88 degrees Fahrenheit here. That's why I've got my fan. Sensei Victoria Whitfield, founder of strategicmeditation.com, where I help impact-driven entrepreneurs and leaders get and stay grounded and clear in mind, body, and business. I'm the world's first business Reiki master, which means I help business owners especially to balance their energy within and without. I'm also the strategic meditation process founder. This is meditation used specifically to help you become a better decision maker and get more done. And so you can find me at, again, strategicmeditation.com. And I love this topic. I love Stoicism. Stoicism is for women, as far as I'm concerned. Women of excellence who want to be more grounded, more not just disciplined, but devoted and focused, devoted to the work that you want to do rather than scattered, right? Or overwhelmed. I've loved Stoicism. I was raised by a Stoic mother. We've got the meditations of Marcus Aurelius, and we've got books by Epictetus on the walls and things like that. So these teachings are really foundational. If you usually put Stoicism into the Googles, you'll see like a big muscly man, but I'm a power lifter too. And I need to have strength too. I'm being the strongest version of myself as a woman. And that is why I love Stoicism. And this foundational concept of the obstacle is the way is about relationship, which I feel is actually a definitively feminine stance, right? For when we're in a stressed state, we can go to fight, flight, or freeze on the negative side. But there's also such a thing as called eustress. So there's stress, negative stress, but also put the EU before eustress, which is positive stress. So the negative stress is a trigger. Positive stress is the glimmer, the things that spark innovation. And when that happens, instead of being in fight, flight, or freeze as a central nervous response, we as women especially are designed to tend and befriend, right? We develop a relationship with the person, place, thing, issue, thought, feeling, etc., to survive and thrive. And that obstacle, when we have a relationship with it, when we're open to becoming curious, which is also a definitively feminine state, we can get creative, which is also an even more definitively feminine state. This helps us grow and expand our influence outside of our comfort zone, that without the obstacle, we wouldn't have had access to that version of ourselves. So I'm loving this topic.
I love thinking about the obstacle that's standing there as your sparring partner. Again, pulling from Stoic concepts, you will have a sparring partner for whatever level you are experiencing, that's going to give you the skills that you need, the practice that you need in order to get stronger and move forward. And you want a sparring partner that's a little bit better than you. So story time here. My girls have been wrestlers, as well as soccer players and crew teammates and frisbee players. And the times that they would come home and say like, "Oh, I don't want to wrestle that opponent because she's really good." I'm like, "Thank goodness, you are so lucky. You are so lucky you get to wrestle somebody who's bigger and stronger than you are, because you will de facto become bigger and stronger by wrestling that person." And that's what we want you to think about as you're building a relationship with the challenges that you're trying to overcome, is to realize that they're there for you. And so this thing that's in the way, whatever it might be, it's giving you the ability to become better at what you do, to become stronger, to gain skills, even to gain confidence. So, oftentimes when things don't go the way we expect and we see the thing in front of us as a wall, it we might retreat into ourselves. Oh, this is more than I can handle. This is bigger than what I know what to do with. And we might kind of retreat back. But I want to call you forward to take a stand and be willing to step into the ring with that bigger opponent, because as you gain the skills to master this particular level and with this particular training partner, one, that obstacle that you're interacting with will respect you now going forward. I know we're talking about like non-human things, but the reality is there is a respect that's gained. And for yourself, you don't gain confidence by every day saying a mantra of, man, I wish I were more confident, or woman, I wish I were more confident. You gain confidence by doing hard things and succeeding. And I want you to take out your pen. I want you to write that down, because the number of people that I work with who say, I wish I were more confident, the path to get more confidence is to do hard things and succeed. So drop it in the comments if you're following along with us. Tell me, did you write it down? Did you grab your note? Is confidence on your list of things? If it is, then you facing obstacles and moving forward, gaining that skill, those skills, the strength, etc., is your path to more and greater confidence and success on the other side of that.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't agree more. And it's interesting what is our gut reaction, our initial reaction to challenges coming our way. Oftentimes we'll say, oh, why is this happening to me? Why me? And what I love what you did there, Nettie, that I just want to highlight is not why is this happening to me, but why is this happening for me? Why is this happening for me? Could it be that this is a resource being given to me? Is there a way that I could see these lemons instead of being sour, but instead the building blocks of a delicious lemonade that I could make out of this situation? And what we're really talking about here is a resilience mindset. And I have an example. I wouldn't have a business if it wasn't for being challenged.
Mm.
And before we went live, Nettie and I were like shooting back and forth of, oh, what's our stories around the obstacle being the way. And for me, whenever I think of the growth experiences that I've had in my life, it's because of incoming Greek word katabasis, which is the big breakdown before the big breakthrough. It was because of the big breakdown that I would have a big breakthrough. I wouldn't have made the decision to leave working for nonprofit if the window wouldn't have fallen on my fingers down to the bone, right, wedging me at work because I was going too fast and refusing to ask for help, opening this huge 20 to 40 pound panes of glass original stained glass window because I thought I was a strong independent woman, and I was a strong independent woman going to the hospital.
Mm.
But that working myself into the hospital experience was what forced me to rethink, well, why, what am I doing? What am I doing? Do I want to continue in this position, or could this be an opportunity for me to reevaluate? I was in my 20s at the time, completely reevaluate what I'm doing with my career. And so that obstacle became a way for me to begin healing and reevaluating my life, which then brought me to learning about Reiki and apprenticing under different masters, learning that. And I followed one in particular, Patrick. Shout out to you, brother. Love you if you're watching. he was more business oriented, so he would go to these different events to get marketing advice. And this woman, this amazing woman, Fabian, if you're watching, hey, we love you, made an offer. And the offer that she made was the most money I ever heard in my life. I had never spent more than $1,000, maybe 500, between $500 to $1,000 on myself in my life. And her offer at the time, this is going back 16, like between 13 to 16 years ago, was $8,000. Holy cow. But the obstacle, the challenge of that offer forced me to get creative. Or let me not say forced. I will, because my spirit guides just said, not forced. You made a choice. As a woman who has been attacked, as a woman who has had authority figures forcing their way of life on me against my will before in the past, I am not a robot. Nobody's forcing me to do anything, not anymore. And so let me ground my language that this was an invitation to decide, am I going to push back against the resistance of this obstacle and build the muscle, right? The resistance training that comes from pushing against the weight of, whoa, an offer that big. This is the thing that could be my next level, but I've never seen that much money before in my life, let alone spent it. Could I push against it? Could I decide to push against it and take the invitation, or decline the invitation and, like a wave of the ocean, let it wash past me? There will always be another one. But in that moment, I made a decision that because of that decision, because I made an inner commitment of, yes, I want to make this happen, I learned the fine art of asking people questions. And I asked enough questions to help create the wherewithal to get my foot into the door of the program. And that changed my life. That catapulted my entire business, getting coaching for the first time. But it came from my decision to receive the invitation and say, yeah, game on, let's figure this out. Not, I can't do this, how can I make this happen? Became the mindset shift.
I love that you brought that phrase in, how can I? And I'm actually dropping it in the comments because it is a foundational question when you're stepping up towards an obstacle, towards a sparring partner. It's not I can't, it's not can I, it's how can I, what can I do, what can I bring to this opportunity to really receive what I'm meant to receive from the experience. And I'm grateful for you sharing that story because I think it resonates with a lot of our listeners who have had an opportunity that was bigger than they'd experienced before. Like maybe this was going to college for you. Right now we're in like the college process, and so I'm looking at this myself, and whew, it is a big price tag for many schools. So maybe that was the first time you really like had that. Oh my gosh, this is a lot, a big investment. I can remember feeling that way when we moved to Pittsburgh, and we had the opportunity to purchase a house that was more money than I mean, it left me in tears. Like I was so emotionally raw thinking about spending this amount of money to purchase a house. And we did it, and it's been a great decision. But it required stepping forward into a challenging space and meeting that. And that's a story for another day, but that is we need to make a note, put a pin in this one on how to manifest what you're trying to, what you need. Yeah. That, like I said, that look, if you're listening to us and you did not see Victoria's look, She's like, "Oh, are we talking about manifestation? I'm your
Oh,
woman. I've got you." And she was my woman in helping me create the opportunity. And it was so foundational to learn how to create the money that I needed in the moment. That was a place where an obstacle, a seeming obstacle, an invitation allowed me to learn skills that I have used in the 7 years uh, since that experience. And, we actually came up with, like, a whole laundry list of obstacles that became the way. The 2 that I just shared with you are about money, but that's not necessarily the only obstacle that can come in your path. And so I want to talk about one more, and then we're gonna share some tips on how you can, uh, you know, step forward towards your obstacles. But I was actually in the same program that Victoria mentioned with Fabienne Fredrickson, and that's how the 2 of us met. So shout out to Fabienne. Thank you for bringing Victoria and I together.
oh,
Um, and I was working through this program. I was on cloud 9. I was imagining my best year ever and how I was gonna get there. And at this point in time, my business was centered around professional organizing, exclusively. And, um, and it was that spring where I was feeling all the pieces click into place that at the same time, I lost my entire team. They quit one after another from January to May, and I needed my team in order to, enact this plan. And so I just saw my vision of what I was creating, like, go up in smoke, and it was emotionally very difficult. So that's something I wanna point out. We're not saying that when these obstacles come up that you're gonna feel great about it. Like, it's okay to take a moment to process what you're feeling and the sadness or grief or fear or whatever might be coming up for you, and, like, don't deny that that's the feeling that you have. And also, I felt at that moment this kind of peace that passes understanding, that this was happening for me. This was happening for me to have an opportunity to do something bigger, better, different, that was going to be the right path going forward. And it also felt to me as though this was happening because of a decision I was unwilling to make without it happening. And so that's something else to consider, is that, you may be putting something off because of those emotions that I just mentioned. And so an obstacle may show up for you to learn the skills so that you can get what is there for you on the other side. On the other side of that, for me, just so that I don't leave you on a cliffhanger, I didn't decide to rehire my team and open up my organizing company again, even though that was an option. I decided to switch directions entirely, which led me to where I am now and what I'm doing now with executive coaching. And it's been, it hasn't been a, like, straight line, as it shouldn't be, because we need that resistance, that tension in order to create the next thing. But it has been good, and it's been the path that I I feel like I should be walking. And so from that perspective, it's great. Um, so with that, I want to leave you with a few tips on what to do when those obstacles arise, because they will. I'm sure you're even thinking about some of your own obstacles right now. And if you are, drop them in the chat. Let us know, what are some of the obstacles that you have faced. Um, Name the obstacle, like, identify the thing in front of you as your new sparring partner, and think about what is possible for you if you confront this obstacle, if you work with this obstacle, if you build a relationship with this obstacle, what's on the other side of it? That's the second thing. And the third thing is, even if the obstacle is an enormous boulder in front of you, like, you can't see around it, it's casting a shadow on everything that's happening to you and for you, like, there's nothing that you see beyond this obstacle. I promise you that there is a way to get to the other side. And taking one small step, whether that's managing your emotions, reaching out for help, learning about the obstacle, starting to train, anything, a small step. That's it's you're not going to overcome this in one big leap. It's going to be small incremental steps that get you to the other side. Um, would you
Yeah.
add would you add anything to that
My
list?
goodness. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So, what to do when the obstacle shows up? I mean, for one, remain focused on just for today. In Reiki, we have a phrase like the 5 Reiki principles. Every single one of them begins in Japanese with kyo dake wa, just for today. Just for today. What how can you see this as a gift? Um, Gyo dake wa gansha shite, gyo o hageme hito ni shinsetsu ni. Just for today, do your best working honestly and being grateful and kind to yourself and every living being. How can this be, instead of a challenge, be a gift toward you? Every bill coming in the mail, first of all, open it, look at it, and say thank you, because this is something that you have received, not the bill. I'm talking, you are being billed for the support that you have received, even if it's a credit card, loan, whatever it is. This is proof that there is resource to support for you. Some other mindset shifts I also want to drop in there, especially during COVID, that really helped me, was the mantra, there's always a way around everything. There's always a way around everything. When COVID hit, I had very successful, um, five of them per year, live in-person multi-day retreats, spiritual retreats for entrepreneurs and business owners. And people were flying in, and both the bed and breakfasts where I would host them at ended up selling. There's always a way around everything. There's always a way around everything. This is happening for me. How is this happening for me? How can I be grateful for this and receive this as an opportunity? That was the first time that I ever got to start innovating with the retreats, taking them from just being in person to then being in person and online as a hybrid. People weren't really using Zoom like they are now back when that happened, and then that helped force that innovation, inspire that innovation. It also helped me find other locations that could host me in a way that was supportive of my community, and ended up being even better for my community, right? They would be able to use points to get their hotel where we were meeting. We were able to go out and be more in nature instead of only sitting in the room. Allowing the innovation rather than overwhelm. As a woman leader, your decision to allow yourself to innovate, be curious and creative, that is what's going to determine whether or not you are a strong leader and you're growing, or you're falling back and shrinking. You can do this. You can do this. This is an opportunity, a gift given to you by, I believe, Spirit, because there's no such thing as coincidence, for you to step up and expand, should you choose to accept it.
There are so many great examples, and I feel like
Yeah.
when you share an example, I'm thinking of, 5 more other things that relate and are aligned. And I'm sure that's true for our listeners too. So if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I've been just hitting obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. With love, we get it, we understand. We're going to be talking next time about a very specific obstacle, and that is having a tight budget, which may be coming down for a number of folks right now, in what we're experiencing in the world. So if that's you, we get it. If you're thinking, I'm seeing these obstacles, and maybe in the past I was able to, meet them, but right now it just feels overwhelming, and I'm not sure how to, how to be positive in the way that you guys are talking about. We also understand that. And if you'd like to talk to us about what that experience is for you and how to reframe and how to use these obstacles to grow and be successful, then drop a note below to connect, and we will schedule a three-way conversation. You, me, Victoria, and we'll talk about what's coming up for you. We look forward to that conversation and to supporting you, because we know, as Victoria said, that there is always around. Victoria,
Yeah.
would you like to close us out for today?
Yeah, absolutely. Positive mindset is contagious. Negative mindset is contagious too. But if you need more positive influence, we're here to support you. Drop that word connect in the comments below, and we will reach out to you in a LinkedIn DM. We'll find you so that we
Mhm.
can connect with you. With that, thank you so much for joining us for the Wake Up Women Leaders podcast. We're on episode 8. Woo, woo, woo! Yeah, and we'll see you next time, everyone.